The city never truly sleeps, it just holds its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Tonight, it dropped with a splash in a forgotten alleyway off 7th Street. Rain slicked the grimy brick walls, turning the neon glow of a distant sign into a blurry watercolor of reds and blues. Police tape, a flimsy yellow barrier against the encroaching darkness, fluttered in the damp breeze, and in the center of it all lay Ryan Clark, or what was left of him. His body was arranged in a pose that screamed ceremony, a grotesque sculpture for an unseen audience. Around him, chalked onto the wet asphalt, were symbols cryptic, alien, yet drawn with a terrifying precision. Miles away, I was lost in my own kind of darkness. My apartment is a museum of ghosts, the walls lined with shelves overflowing with cold case files. The faces of the forgotten stared back at me from faded photographs, their silent pleas a constant hum in the back of my mind. Sarah used to say I lived more with the dead than the living. She wasn't wrong. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and old paper. The phone's shrill ring cut through the silence like a scalpel. It was dispatch. A body. 7th and Miller. The words were routine, but the tremor in the dispatcher's voice was not. Something was different about this one. Pulling on my trench coat, the familiar weight a strange comfort. I left the ghosts of my apartment behind and drove into the rain-streaked night. The crime scene was a chaotic dance of flashing lights and hushed, urgent voices. Uniformed officers kept the press at bay, their faces grim. My partner, Detective Harding, met me at the tape. He was a good cop, but he saw the world in black and white. "It's a weird one, Mercer," he said, gesturing towards the scene. "Some kind of cult thing, maybe. The symbols are just gibberish." I ducked under the tape, my eyes adjusting to the harsh glare of the forensic floodlights. The air was cold, heavy with the metallic scent of blood and the ozonic tang of recent rain. I knelt beside the body, careful not to disturb the scene. The rookies saw chaos. Harding saw gibberish. But I saw something else. I saw a pattern, a meticulous, deliberate design. It wasn't random. It was a language. Each curve, each line, was placed with an artist's care. It was familiar, a half-remembered nightmare from a case long buried. A case everyone told me to forget. The killer wasn't just leaving a body. They were leaving a message. I traced one of the symbols in the air with my finger, a complex spiral that seemed to pull the very light into it. This wasn't the work of some drug-addled cult. This was the work of a master craftsman, a predator who saw murder as a form of art. My mind raced, connecting dots that weren't even on the same page, pulling threads from cases years apart. Ryan Clark wasn't the first, and he wouldn't be the last. The precision, the arrogance, the sheer theatricality of it all. It was a signature, I knew. Harding was talking. Something about the victim's last known whereabouts, but his voice was a distant murmur. I was no longer in the alley. I was in a gallery, and the artist was showing me their latest masterpiece. A cold dread, mingled with a strange, exhilarating spark of recognition, settled deep in my bones. This killer, this artist of death, they knew I was here. They knew I would be the one to see the pattern, to understand their work. This wasn't just a murder, it was an invitation. I stood up, turning away from the body to face the darkness at the end of the alley. The city's ambient noise faded away, leaving only the sound of my own heartbeat and the steady drumming of the rain. I could feel it, an unseen presence watching from the shadows, a mind reaching out to mine across the void. They were testing me, challenging me. They had thrown down the gauntlet, and the game had just begun. This wasn't just a case anymore. This was personal. And as I stared into the endless, rain-soaked night, I knew this killer had been waiting for me. They had called, and I was here to answer. Thanks for watching. If you want to see where this investigation leads, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what happens next.